Welcome to the Theater of Others podcast. My name is Adam Marple, and I'm the co-artistic director of the Theater of Others. With the COVID-19 pandemic forcing a shutdown and reevaluation of space and gathering, we at the Theater of Others are thinking about what stories we need and how best we can share them. We believe space is psychology, and it informs the way in which an audience interacts and reacts to what is presented to them. We create uniquely theatrical events in bespoke sensory performance spaces crafted to encourage curiosity and grant the audience permission to commune with the play. Now that that space has moved online, how can we encourage interaction and action amongst an audience virtually? The Theater of Others produces plays that both welcome and challenge the audience. We are committed to international collaboration and are a laboratory that helps artists grow through intensive study of their craft. The Theater of Others creates a shared community of artists and audiences for the purpose of exploring the most profound issues of our lives and times. We believe the play watches the audience. The audience is necessary, and they are witness to what happens. And you get to be witness to us making that happen. The purpose of this podcast is to open up our process and let you in. We're peeling back the curtain, so to speak, and encouraging you to follow along, to ponder, prod, and question, to join us and criticize us if need be. Being a witness is no passive task, and it requires much from you. Are you up for the journey? On the podcast today from Melbourne, Australia, our co-artistic directors Budi Miller and myself in Cairo, Egypt. This podcast contains explicit language.
Hi, Adam.
Hi, Budi.
How you going?
I'm going okay.
I'm doing a little bit of that less is more kind of acting.
Right, where I say my line and then I look away.
And then I say my line and I look away.
We're in the same studio, but we decided to give you two different views this time. Budi's right there.
Adam is right there.
Yeah. Maybe I can even get into your frame somehow.
No, don't get into my frame. This is my frame. This is my frame. Stay out of my frame.
Yeah, exactly.
But we're in the studio.
We're in your office, your lovely office.
This is where all the magic happens.
I can see it. I can feel it. It feels fertile.
Yes.
Yes.
And futile.
Futile. I hope it's not futile.
It's pestilent.
I hope it's not pestilent either.
Why?
Why would you want it to be futile and pestilent? This is where you're writing your PhD.
Well,
this is where you do coaching.
It's not where it's where you can be futile and pestilent.
Oh, okay. Sure.
I'm having a very complicated day today. I thought it was a full moon.
It does feel full moon-ish, yes.
Technology has been challenging me today.
Yeah, I agree. I know the feeling.
But you know what's really great is that I keep having to go back to my center, but it's hard. But you know the thing that I'm being taught throughout all of this stuff that I have no control over, like technology and Wi-Fi and connections and things, is that as long as I respond to what's happening to me in the moment and leave it as that in the moment, I'm okay.
Yeah, that's true.
But like if I harbor on it, then I start going into all the pain body. Adam, can you turn your volume down?
I turned it off.
Jack David Burmester says to turn your volume down. He has just broken the channel I was channeling. See, I told you today is the day of technology. Today is the day of Disrupt Budi and his technology, technology. Yeah. I just want to say that you're all bastard people, and I'm gonna go home and bite my pillow. Where are you going? Hey. Oh, hi, Adam. Look at that.
He needed a hug.
I did need a hug. Okay, I'm back. I'm back. I'm black. Get used to it.
Get used to it.
How are you, Adam? We're in Melbourne,
We're
so
in
how
Melbourne.
how is Melbourne treating you, Adam Marple, and why are you here?
It was cheaper to be here than to stay in Singapore for the 2 weeks.
True,
No, it's
very true.
lovely. It's lovely because the last time I was here, it was going into fall,
Mm.
and now we are going into spring. So I've seen the changing of the seasons, which is lovely here to see what's blooming and what's not blooming and what's coming into bloom. And it's chilly, not cold.
So you've been chillaxing? Have you been
I've
chillaxing?
definitely been chillaxing. So after kind of like what has it been, almost a month and a half, almost 2 months of go 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 in very very hot climates, it's finally good to just kind of sit and think. Not had time to think over this past month and a half just because it's been working, and so to actually kind of like take in the show, take in the workshop, and kind of process all that kind of stuff, which is really really good. I think I know we as artists don't take enough time to just think because we think that it's not work. But we talked about this on the podcast before that you need that processing time to look at and get feedback on and go over what has been done. So that's been really lovely. This like last kind of week so far, just processing rehearsal period for Bright Light Burning and the workshop and all the things that we have planned coming up.
What's Bright Light Burning?
Bright Light Burning, the show that we're doing at the COP28 conference in Dubai in December.
Oh,
And everybody on the podcast will know that because they're following us on Instagram. And
they better do.
we certainly have had a shit ton of photos on there for the last 2 weeks.
Well, that's for our new listeners who just might have joined today. And for our new listeners, welcome aboard.
That's right.
You're in for a ride, baby.
Oh man, we've got and you've joined just in time as well because if you're listening in the real time, we've got so many things coming up. Like this, the latter half of this year is packed, which is great because then that'll take us into the next year where we have all kinds of other plans as well.
What's coming up? So let's go down the list.
So next up, we have our audio play festival.
Jack David Burmester's project, y'all.
That's right. Yes. So that's all the month of November. A brand new play premiering every single Monday of the month of November, and the Thursday before that, we'll have interviews with the playwrights so that we can kind of give you a little inside track onto what you're going to hear the following Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Then, as soon as the audio play festival is done, we're premiering a piece called Earth Turns, which has performers from 11 different countries on almost every single continent, and Budi is one of those performers as well.
I'm on the continent.
That's right. And Jack has some amazing, beautiful compositions, some beautiful
It's so
sound
beautiful.
designs.
It's really beautiful.
Gorgeous
It's
show.
really
It's a
beautiful.
really gorgeous show. I'm really proud of it. And that takes us right into Bright Light Burning. That takes us right into COP28, where we, as a company, all head to 14 of us, head to Dubai for the UN Climate Conference, COP28, for 10 days. And we perform in currently 5 venues across the UAE, with a possible 6th one that I've been working on all day. And
Wow.
so
That's a lot of stuff.
That's a lot of stuff before we even get, and then that takes us to the end of the year where we may have more workshops, and we go into next year with more workshops and more productions and more things and more this and more that and more.
Yeah, we're available. We're free. It's
That's right.
wonderful.
It's wonderful.
I'm just finishing up my week with working with Fabio Mata, doing Fitzmaurice and mask work, and then tomorrow we have our on-camera screen acting workshop. People have been asking me to do one, so I'm doing one. I'm doing one, y'all, and I'm doing it in person, which is really exciting. 2 weeks of it, and then next week we're going to be doing advanced Fitzmaurice and mask work. But by the time you're hearing this, everything has already begun, and there will only be one workshop left with on camera, and it's the second half of the workshop. So you missed it.
That's right. You got to be on top of these things, folks.
Yeah, you do.
Coming
Yeah,
in
you do.
hot and heavy with all this stuff.
Oh, but Fabio and I have one last workshop. That's right. On it's October the 2nd of October. So the full Monday on the 2nd of October, we call it our the Heart of the Actor training. So essentially, it's every first Monday of the month, Fabio and I, and we do a Pilates for actors, essentially, for the actor's imagination. Uh, and we do satsang with actors. We do Miss Moore's voice work. We do mask work. And we may even do some clown work. It depends on who's in the room. It's always different depending on who shows up. But it's a great time, and Fabio and I love it because we get to also be in the room as artists as well. So if you really want to work with us, we've got our Monday in Melbourne. That's in person in Melbourne on October the 2nd. And what is that? A week and some change.
Yeah.
But when they hear this, it's next week.
Yes, exactly.
Next week.
Yes.
A week from today. So sign up, y'all. Sign up.
Yeah.
You can find on the show notes where to sign up. It's Fabio's clown training website.
Yeah.
Okay, Adam Marple. I keep looking over at you. Hi.
Hi.
Oh my god. So the reason why we're not looking at each other is because my studio is very particular with where the outlets are. So there's not enough power on that side of the room. So the power has been split. So we're being divided.
Yeah.
We've been divided.
It's a very colonial space you have here.
Well, take it easy. Take it easy. Look at what's behind you. That is not colonial.
Look what's behind you. That's not colonial either.
Hello. Do you know what's behind you?
You mean this right
Oh, take it easy. Take it easy. There's a God in there. Be
here?
careful.
No.
Be careful.
I know.
So, I, it's hard to even begin to talk about this book that we're going to go into because it's a way of consciousness, really. So like to read it as a book club,
I agree.
it's very interesting. I thought I found it very challenging myself, but like something really cool came out of the challenge.
Good.
What book what book have we read for this book club, Adam?
So we are in your choice, your last choice for
Yes.
the book club, and
What's the theme?
So we had both kind of said that for our last choice, we wanted to kind of go outside of theaters because we've been, very theater or actor or directing centric the entire time, and we said, so what was more of an influence on? I don't know if we said us as people, but us as we're formulating ourselves in our art, not as artists themselves. And so, yeah, your last book that you chose was "You Are That" by Gangaji.
Yeah. So, Adam,
Budi.
what do you think?
I think how you set it up is exactly how I feel. It's very challenging to read. I can totally understand the experience part of it, just being in satsang in Bali, and I can understand why people flock to her and want to be with her. But like the reading of the book, this work is not made for a book.
Yeah.
This work is not made for a book, so it was challenging. And I'm like, I'll be honest, I didn't finish it. I will finish it, but I didn't.
How far did you get?
I got a little over 70%.
So did you get to sex and
I just gotten
true meaning
there.
of tantra?
Yes, I just gotten there.
I just got there. You didn't get a chance to read it.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I thought you would really love that section.
Well, I will read it. I'm not a person that just leaves books unfinished, whether I like them or not. I can't not finish something, so it will be finished.
So from what you've read,
Yeah.
what's your what's your feedback? We know that it's challenging and it's like it's a minefield of repetition.
Yeah, God. Yeah. I mean, I said to you early on, I was just like, I feel like she could have written one page.
Yeah.
And then you could have just read that for 270 days instead of 270 pages of.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the work. It's always the same. It's always the same. And the mind comes at it so many different ways.
Yeah.
You
I mean, it reminds me of day one of satsang when one of our participants in the workshop said, "Oh, it's that simple."
Yeah.
And yeah, it is, except you're going to fight it and you're going to push back against it, and the mind is going to come up with 1,000 ways why that's not it, and why that can't possibly work, and why it must be more than that. And so for 270 pages, it's her basically saying that and they're it's kind of set up as interviews, like in like the satsang that they basically record and put on the page.
Mm.
And so the participants are just coming back with every single like
Yeah, but
yeah but, and she just parries to, it's just that simple. It's just
yeah,
like, no, you just get rid of it.
yeah,
Yeah, but no, just get rid of it.
yeah,
Yeah, but no, just get rid of it.
yeah. I one of so what the way that I think my audiobook world, my PDF reader world is so perfect for this kind of book because I can listen to it and then the nuggets that come, I can hear them as opposed to because if I'm reading it, I'll get bogged down because I'm like, yeah, that's really good, and then I want to reflect on it. Yeah, see, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Wanting to because she hits these, she like drops the mic like practically every sentence, and you're like, I can't move on. I need to process this.
Yeah.
I really need to process this.
Yeah.
And I think like if you were to compare it to something like Eckhart Tolle's A New Earth, like Eckhart Tolle like requires you to nibble it and let
Yep.
the book evolve with you. And I think it's the same for this one.
Yeah.
Reading it as a book club without taking pauses together, I
Yeah.
think what the challenge is.
Yeah.
So I recommend doing a group book club with this and taking pauses together and reflecting on what does this actually mean
Yeah.
internally to reflect on it.
Yeah.
There was this one nugget that was like, oh, this is like what she said, experience the resurrection of the crucifixion of the moment. The resurrection of the crucifixion of the moment.
I don't know what that means. I got to sit with that forever.
Well, it means surrender. Surrender to the moment. That's what happened with Jesus Christ. He's like he at the moment he surrendered. The ultimate surrender on the cross. What are you going to do? Let go. Let go. Let go. And then see what is left. What comes from that.
Mm.
There's a resurrection. And it's not a biblical book. That was just one of the references that she uses. She's like, it's not a religion.
Mm.
I'm not trying to get you to connect to any religion
Mm.
because it's before religion.
Mm.
It's before the breath. It's before the naming. And I love, like, I don't even think you've gotten to that section when she starts talking about gender. She's like, there is no gender.
Mm.
There is no man. There is no woman. Before you even learn to call yourself these things, you existed. Before you knew to call yourself the name that you are, you existed.
Mm.
You existed. You exist. My favorite is from her teacher where you were never born, so you can never die because you've always been here.
Mm.
And I think that's the reason why it can be a challenge to try to read it so quickly
Oh,
because
for sure.
it's the mind, it's going at the mind. And so the mind wants to like keep meaning attached to meaning.
Yeah.
She says in the book like the mind wants to know why.
Yeah.
That's the mind's function. Why? Why?
Why? Yeah. Why is a big one for me. And I know it gets me into trouble because I want to know, why can I not hear the last couple of letters if I'm speaking French? Why is that thing not pronounced at all in French? Why does it have to be that way in French? And literally one day, my French teacher said, because it sounds nice, Adam. And I was like, oh, okay, I'll accept it. It just was, I know that's not the right answer. I know that's not true, but my brain needed an answer to the why. It just needed something to like stop it from going, linguistically, philologically, why was this choice made? Because it sounds pretty, Adam. Okay.
Yeah, and it's even before that. It's before all of that. And I like this as I really like this as a challenge because it was a challenge for me too because I was like, oh my god, my brain is like it was like Vulcan mind meld,
Mm.
and at the pace I was going, I was like, I am never going to finish this book if I go at this pace.
It's the pace that I have gone. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
And what I love is that that's the intention. The intention of the book is to make you stop.
I imagine this is what I'm going to try to do with it instead of what I've been doing, which is rush through it because I knew the deadline was coming when we were going to do the podcast, is just put it on my bedside table
Yeah.
and either before I go to bed or when I wake up, like that, I just
Yeah.
read a chapter, or not even a chapter, like she's got it broken down into little sections inside of chapters,
Yeah.
the conversations. That's, and just to kind of go like, can I work through the day with that in the back of my existence? Can I work with what she's talking about in this section? Can I find and listen to this as I move through my day? I think that's probably the best way to go about it.
Well, the whole point of the book is that there is no work.
Yeah.
So the provocation we gave to read it is antithetical.
Yeah. So don't read the book, folks. Don't listen to the podcast.
Well, okay, so let's explore your idea to keep it at the bedside. So I want you to randomly thumb through your PDF and like just like like finger and then
Yeah.
read what it says.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go for it.
Oh, I don't have it here. It's on
Oh, you don't have it?
it's on my Kindle. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna do a wild scroll. I have mine in front of me. I'm gonna wild scroll, and stop right here. It says it's a after ex, after having experienced awakening and deepening of that awakening, still unconsciousness habits are manifesting in my life that are harmful or stupid. What do I do? So this is a satsang. So this is someone who's asked a question um, in regards to satsang. And then she says, Gangaji says, stop them. Isn't it obvious? Anything that is harmful or stupid, stop right away, immediately. When it is obvious, there's no excuse. And this in itself is the deepening. Don't give yourself any excuses. Be finished with stupidity and harmfulness. When stupidity arises from past actions, past choices, past desires, it's obvious if you are willing for it to be obvious. If you are willing to see, you are willing not to go to sleep to what is harmful and stupid, but to see it, to feel it, to experience the enormous omnidirectional pain of it. It is not just in you or in some other. It is omnidirectional. This is excruciating. It must be excruciating. The willingness for total surrender and sensitivity is the willingness not to allow anything to pass unseen. You have spent many years denying what is obvious. Our whole culture is built on the denial and deflection. Our subculture, in particular, out of some desire for personal freedom and to break out of the bondage of the generation before us, has also spent years denying what is obviously stupid. Now, be still and tell the truth. At this point, no one can tell you this truth. No one can tell you to do one particular action or not to do some other particular action. It is simply obvious as it arises. No matter what story or justification you're telling yourself, the willingness to see what is stupid reveals the possibility of surrender to what is not stupid. Pure, eternal intelligence.
Does she have audiobooks?
Her voice is amazing.
I'm just thinking that like it needs, because as I know, as I heard you have your PDF thing read to you, it's reading super fast, and it's a mechanical AI voice. And as I'm reading it, I'm also reading it very fast. It needs the slow human voiced inflections to make that make sense. So if she has audiobooks, I would recommend that.
And also to go and watch her YouTube videos. Watch
Mm.
Gangaji's YouTube videos. Those are my it's her satsang videos are amazing. They're amazing. I've been watching them for over 25 years. Whenever I'm like, oh, I'm having a moment, honey, and I'll put on some Gangaji and I hear her voice, and she's in satsang with people, and you can have satsang with her,
Mm.
and you can go to the Gangaji Foundation and have satsang with her online. She does monthly satsangs, and it's amazing. People come in, call in from all around the world, and she interacts with them, and it's amazing. But yeah, so it is that bedside book. It is that book that says slow down,
Mm.
slow down.
I was recently reading Marcus Aurelius's meditations, and it was like his diary. He wasn't writing it for anybody else to read. He wasn't writing it with a sense that someday, 2000 plus years from now, somebody will be looking at it as for Stoic philosophy or anything else like that. It's literally just like his morning pages.
Hmm.
And so it's one of those things where like you're reading, it's just like, this is kind of drivel. This is kind of bad. And then all of a sudden there's a thought that kind of pops out from there. And it's one of those things where like, I remember when I was reading it, I was like, I know my eyes were moving and I was hearing the words, but at the same time, I was also astrally projected outside of it, looking at myself read it, going like, God, how many more pages are left in this chapter? You know how we can do this when you're reading,
Mm-hmm,
where you're
mm-hmm,
reading, but you're not reading at the same time. You're actually doing
mm-hmm.
something else.
That happens to dyslexics all the time.
And so I found myself in a lot of times in a very similar situation until like something would click, and then I'd immediately be back in it, and then I would drift off again because I was like, we got to do this by the 20 something. We got to got to read this book by the 21st. Got to get it done. So yeah, I think the bite size morning or evening kind of thing. That's the way to go about doing it.
But we can also give let everyone know what satsang actually feels like
Mm,
on the podcast.
mm,
So you can go to satsang right now. We are in satsang. We're always in satsang, the meeting of our true selves. Sangha being the gathering, sat being that comes in, the meeting of our true selves. So become aware of what emotion you're feeling right now. Do you have a particular emotion you're feeling right now, Adam?
calm.
Let the whole body feel calm. It's when you have nature around, it's one of those things that really helps reflect that. You have the birds chirping,
Mm-hmm.
and in that calmness, do you have any thoughts?
How important greenery is to me.
How important is it,
I think it's I think it's like a medicine that I've denied myself for the last 2 years.
and how does that make you feel?
Pretty pretty horrible.
What's the emotion you feel right now?
Right now,
Yeah,
I feel pretty great. That's not an emotion. I
yeah. So it's a
feel
product of the emotion. So go inside.
I feel
Yeah, go on the other side of that. Yeah, what is that?
these are just adjectives. I keep coming up with the adjectives, but I can't find what the word is
What's
for
the
the emotion.
adjective?
Open, light,
Yeah.
uh, clean. Yeah, light is the best. Lightness is the best way I can describe it.
So when you go into that story of the nature story, what was the emotion inside of that?
Inside of the being in nature or not having nature?
Not having the nature,
Uh,
because it was pretty resident.
yeah, it's ugly. It feels. Why don't words work? Tight. I mean, it's the opposite. It's tight. It's closed off. It's again. These are all words describing.
Yeah. So go into the tightness. What's the emotion inside the tightness? Yeah. What's that?
Yeah, but it's. I don't think it's any one feeling.
Okay. What feelings are you feeling?
There's sadness. There's anxiety.
Yeah.
There's anger.
So let's connect to the sadness. Let's let the sadness exist. Yeah, you don't have to do anything with it. You don't have to run away from it. Yeah, it's changing. What is it now?
Um, I like to say it was acceptance, but I'm not sure if that was what it was.
So check it out. What is it? What is it? What does it feel like?
It feels like there's nothing I can do about the situation.
Yeah, and so what's the feeling? What's the emotion inside there? Don't do anything. Just stop doing anything. Just what does it feel like?
Feels like, I guess it does feel like acceptance.
Yeah, so let that acceptance live and be right now. Drop your jaw, let it disrupt your breathing. So be in that acceptance. Yeah, it just shifted. What is it now?
I don't have to like it,
Yeah, you don't have to like it.
but I accept it.
Yeah. You also don't have to deflect it.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that. She said that about uh, resistance is also a trap.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the work right there. So when we were talking about the story, I experienced you deflecting what the sense of what that world was, and what you're now seeing is that awareness and emptiness and stillness is inside that place too,
Yeah.
because that's what we are. We are that awareness, even inside the storm, going into the eye of the storm when it's uncomfortable. I think one of the biggest challenges in this kind of work is there can be a lot of release that happens in it, but then it becomes this like now I'm chasing the release. I'm chasing the openness. I'm chasing the pleasure. I'm chasing the freedom, as opposed to just letting yourself really exist in what's really happening right now, because deep, deep, deep inside of it is stillness and awareness, is silence.
Mm. Mm.
And so there's an embodiment that reveals itself in the moment of investigation. The moment of investigation becomes the embodiment of this life. this space, this moment.
Mm.
Because there's a physical tension in the body. Remember, I always talk about how the ego is a physical tension in the body. And that physical tension in the body becomes a pattern. And that pattern becomes a story. And then what ends up happening is that story just gets the action. And no one addresses the physical patterning that the story is attached to. But deep inside the physical patterning is where it all came from, which is stillness, which is awareness. It's even before the breath. When you release the breath out of your body and you don't take another breath, what is left? Awareness.
Mm.
It's interesting because the putting the colonial uh, deadline on this book,
Yeah.
right, was is exactly counter to what the book
What
is
the book is about.
about.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
Which then brings in the reflection of what is the book club about?
Well, yeah, I mean, I've been thinking about this ever since Bali as well. And we're talking about, when we started even talking about, institutionally, you don't teach the syllabus, you teach to the student. Their entire world is built on deadlines. Everything is a deadline. The date, the day, the week, they are all deadlines. And so, like, how do you simultaneously run a theater company and a podcast where, you know, we'll get to it when we get to it, when it feels like getting to it. But at the same time, podcast has come out on Monday.
Yeah.
How?
Yeah. That's the wonderful dance of life.
Mm,
Because Gangaji talks about who you think you are doesn't exist. However, what you are is not separate from who you think you are. All. What the world is and what the world is not is all. So go into it. Go into those, and it's like uh, we have to pay the bills. We have to, get the kids to school. We have to, wake up and brush our teeth if we want to. So then we put a value on that. Do I need to brush my teeth today?
yes,
Why am I brushing my teeth?
because your breath stank.
Because you got bad breath.
Yeah, exactly. That's not
and
an option, folks.
and
Brush
who
your
is
teeth.
that? And is it for breath? Or is it for health?
Yes. The answer is
Yes,
yes.
yes, the above.
You're not wearing mask over your face anymore. We can smell that breath too.
Ooh, shade. And to have and be just as playful as that with all of your life.
Mm,
I was quite stressed at the beginning of the podcast because
technology.
technology stresses me out.
Yes.
But like, I let it stress me out. I let it stress me out. And there are some days when I can be very aware, and it's actually not affecting me. But there are other days where I'm just like, it's just like it doesn't stop.
Yeah.
It's almost like I have like this like I feel because my frequency is so high that when I touch mechanical devices, they lose their shit.
That's a story you're telling yourself. Let go of the story.
Girl, let that story go. Girl, let that story go. It's a nice story. It's a
Yeah.
nice story.
Yeah.
And I think the thing that I have witnessed in myself, having um, learned this work so early on in my practice as an actor and a teacher. And it was like when the simplicity of this world came to me, it was in alignment with everything that I was already searching for and doing in my work as an actor and as a teacher.
Mm,
But it was just so simple.
mm.
It was so simple. And that's why Gangaji told me, yes, yes, it's that simple.
I like the story you told about when you decided that you needed to introduce this to actors. Can you tell that story? 'Cause it's just the simplicity of her answer back to you.
Oh, yeah, because I whenever I go to her, it's like, and it's when I actually go physically go and see her, it's few and far between because I live this work. I understand it. I've always, and every time I see her, I'm like, I get it. I get it. It's you are me. I am you. I understand this. And then I'm like, but God, geez, there's a little snag here. Ah, but a snag is never like anything like I can't figure out on my own.
Mm,
But I just want to have a little bit of confirmation. It's nice to have confirmation from someone who is um, who has who fully realized,
mm.
because when I first saw her and I looked in her eyes, I really felt like I was at the mountaintop already. I was like, it's the same thing that happens when you climb out Gung. You meet the priests in Bali. There's this vibration, and I was like, oh, that's what it is. Okay, I don't need to come back here. And I also said to her, I said, this would be really great for actors. And she's like, yes, it's great for everyone.
It's great for humans,
For humans, is it the humans? It's great for humans,
and actors are humans too.
and actors are humans too.
It turns out.
It turns out that actors are humans too.
Turns out.
Yes, it turns out that actors are humans too. But I'm just really happy to actually have brought this book to the book club because it's a completely different vibration and entrance into your work as people. You know, we had the the actors practice books where there's exercises and there's just so much doing that happens inside of like training, and everyone's like, what do I do, what do I do, what do I do? Okay, I do like this, I do it. And it becomes like this almost like running sensation, like you're running towards something, like,
Mm,
but like, what are you doing right now, what is happening right now?
mm,
And the mask work and satsang were the two areas where I've understood where really living in the moment existed and exists.
mm-hmm.
And I had this really cool thing happen just 2 days ago. I was listening to Poonjaji, Gangaji's teacher. It's one of my favorite audiobooks to listen to, and it's actually Gangaji's husband, um, who reads the book. Um, and someone is we're working on the who am I? Who am I? Asking yourself, who am I? Who am I? Who am I? And then removing the who. Am I? Am I? And then removing the am I? I. And the way that I had often heard this part of the satsang, I had misheard Papaji saying that the I is awareness. And then I heard it again. And then because I was like, inside of me, I was going, but is it? I'm like, because I was kind of like, it doesn't feel right. Doesn't feel right. And then this time around, I heard him say, no, you'll realize that even when you remove the I, there's something else as well. I was like, yes, that's what I was feeling. That's what I was feeling. Okay, good. Okay, I'm in the right place because
You're
that's it.
you're you're the question mark at
Yeah,
the end of that sentence. That's
yeah,
what you are.
yeah. And that's like, so what remains? But then he took it to the next step, Adam, which has completely blown everything like into a whole nother understanding of what I was saying before about who you are is not separate from who you think you are. And then he said, in there, the I too is. And it was like the physical embodiment of my body at that moment and still has been this unbroken consciousness, unbroken, not separated, not divided. It's like, okay, that's my body. This is my awareness. This is my awareness looking at my body. I am fully integrated as all of it. Like I can feel myself looking out of my eyeballs, listening with my ears, and the my is separate from the ears, but inside the my is the I. And it's like this, it's this spinning like dance, and there's no friction or conflict.
Mm.
There's integration and flow, and as you know, as Sarah Victoria and Pim and Stefan Perkim says, there's permeability. There's this all happening,
Mm.
and I can't tell you um, when it happened or why it happened or what I did to make it happen. Or like it was the moment that uh, like it impacted me around the sense of also giving thanks to all of those fucked up things that have happened to you in your life,
Mm.
because if they hadn't have happened in the way that they did, you wouldn't be who you are,
Right.
what you are right now,
Yeah.
in this very moment. Everyone, right now, connect to that. Right now, in this very moment, everything that has happened to you, good or bad, has impacted how you are here right now, why you are here, and that you actually are here
Mm-hmm.
right now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the coolest sensation, to give gratitude to those things that seemingly are out to kill you. And I don't mean it like in a Christina Aguilera kind of way. Thank you for the things you did, because I'm a better woman. No, not talking about that. Not in a Christina Aguilera kind of way. And not in my new leather bag kind of way. Hello. Hello. I had to bring my leather bag in this moment. Yes. I am being me. Oh, yes. The queen. All of that. That too is awareness. Oh, there's nothing to do. There's nothing to do. That's the part I love. No guilt, no shame, no punishment. Hi.
I like when she talks about, we have this idea that there are good emotions and there are bad emotions.
Yeah.
That there are good interactions and bad interactions. They're just interactions.
Yeah.
They're just emotions.
Yes.
Yeah.
When she said behavior is behavior.
Yeah.
Behavior is behavior.
Yeah.
There's no good or bad. There's no binary. It's behavior.
Yeah. It's the story that we tell ourselves about that thing wherein we put good or bad on it.
Yeah.
So change your story, change your life.
Yeah. Yeah. Stop your story. Be your life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. It's it's so good. It's so good, but it's not to be. It's not a speed reading
It's
task.
not it's not to be read in less than a month's time while traveling the world and teaching workshops and writing a PhD. It's
Yeah.
not a book for that.
Yes.
it's it's not a book to read on the bus ride home from rehearsals.
Well, yeah, it is a bus. You can read it on the bus ride home from rehearsals.
I couldn't.
I could. That's actually when I start to go, oh, yes.
No, I needed to think about rehearsals. I need to think about other things.
Oh, see, when I right out of rehearsal, I have to go to a different place than where I was, because my whole body was up in there for like hours. I'm like,
Mhm.
I need to. Diddle-diddle-diddle-diddle. I need to do that. I do. I do. Well, okay. So is it time for us to rate?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And then we'll come back. We'll have a break and then come back with some provocations.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. So what is it? It's 1 to 5.
1 to 5.
The impact of the book on the world. What is it?
It changes every single time we do this. So it's supposed to be uh, usefulness for theater,
Okay.
and then uh, I think impact, and then favorite
chapter.
chapter. Yeah.
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 Or favorite section.
Yeah.
Okay. So impact on theater is the first one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh.
Right.
Wait.
know.
I have to. I have to.
Currently
Okay. Yeah.
nil. Currently nil.
No.
I mean, in sections of the world, yes, in some certain people, but in terms of like the current impact of this book on theater, we know.
Wait. No. We got to get our numbers, and then we'll talk.
Okay. All right.
On the count of 3.
Okay.
3, 2, 1. 5.
0.
Why 0?
Because we know that actors and theater makers in the world aren't doing this thing. They are
Yeah,
not.
but I'm going off of if they did it, the effect that it would do to theater.
Okay. And I'm going off of, I imagine that the majority of our people have never even heard of the Gangaji or
Yeah,
his work.
I know, but that's why we get that. And there's the book club. That's why we have the book club.
Okay. So 3.5 is, or 2.5 is the number then between the two of us.
So wait, if it were to impact the theater, if every theater practitioner, every person in the theater read it.
You mean if every single person all of a sudden became fully embodied and enlightened and became a Buddha?
Yeah, not a Buddha. You don't have to be a Buddha.
What kind of a question is that?
You don't have to be a Buddha.
Well, the answer to that
It'll be yourself. You have to be courageously, authentically, unapologetically within the truth of who you are. You don't think that's going to impact the theater?
I know that'll impact the theater. Yes. But
so your number's still a 0.
No, okay, not a 0. I think that if everyone would
Can
do this work,
not can.
Okay, then yes, it would be a 5.
Yeah, but it's a 0 for those for the current industry.
Yes,
and this is why we have the podcast. This is why we have. This is why we have the book club.
Yeah.
Please, somebody, read a book.
Yes, exactly.
Please.
Yes.
Okay, so what's the second one?
I don't remember. I don't even know how that.
Quality of the content?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That's the next one, right?
Yes. Yeah.
It was hard.
Right. I know. See, again, this is I'm going back to the same kind of problem that I had before. One page is a 5. 269 other versions of that page makes it like a 3.
But it's a 3 because you have more, because you know more than the basic reader. Remember what you said to me about the last book? You're like, yeah, but you have to think about like who's reading it. Like they've never read anything.
Yeah, I know, but like, are you imagining somebody's going to get past that first page and then like still continue to read and then still continue to read?
People that are like, because there are people that like need to read the whole thing. There are people like that, Adam.
I know there are people like that. There's always somebody out there that needs, but I'm just saying for the general public, I'm not entirely sure.
Oh, are we? Is our podcast for the general public?
No, we're not. This question isn't even about the general public or our general audience. This is For me, page number 1, 5 stars. The other 269 pages, 3 stars.
Okay.
I give it
Oh,
5.
wait.
I give it 5 star, 3 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 star.
Wait. We were supposed to go at the same time. Jack's gonna be so annoyed because he told us we had to go at the same time.
All right, let's go. Let's do it.
No, you've already gone. Now I have to.
Right.
Now I have to match yours.
Okay.
First page, 5 stars. Rest of the book, 5 stars because it's how many pages? How many pages is this book?
It's like, I keep saying 270 because it feels so very, very long.
221.
Okay.
It's 221 first pages. 5 stars.
Why do I turn the page then? if I can get it all in one
Maybe you don't need to turn the page.
There you go.
You're that person that doesn't need to turn the page. There are other people that do need to turn the pages. But because she keeps saying the same thing over and over again, it's 221 first pages.
Okay.
5 star, 5 star. 251 times.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, what's your favorite chapter that you've read?
The first page.
You've only read the first page?
No, I've read up to Tantra, and then
pick a chapter.
It's all the same thing. There's no chapters in here. It's all the same argument.
No.
It's the same argument.
No. Nice try.
You are not your story. You are not that. You are that which existed before that.
Apply that to Sex and True Meaning of Tantra.
I haven't read that chapter.
Well, see? I recommend you read it. That's my chapter.
Is her answer that you are not that, you are not your story, and you are what comes from before that?
No.
Oh my God.
Her answer is stick it in your butt, stick it in your mouth.
This is not her answer. How dare you?
And make sure it's clean.
How dare you? Papaji is rolling over in his grave right now.
Gangaji, Papaji was cool, man. Papaji, he was cool. No, you gotta read that chapter. It's good.
I know. I'm going to.
Everyone, that's my favorite chapter. So,
of course it is.
Read the first page and then read that chapter. No.
yeah. Pretty much.
No, it's good. It's good, y'all. If you are looking for something deep and meaningful and needing to get aware, and become aware of your awareness. Become aware of your awareness.
Read it in the morning.
Or at night.
Don't put a limit on when you're going to read it.
Yeah, don't read it on the go.
Don't read it on the go.
Take your time with it.
Yeah.
Do we have one more?
No, that's it.
Favorite chapter, favorite... Okay.
Yeah.
So I think we should take a break now.
Yes, take a break.
Ladies and gentlemen, non-binary conforming individuals, you are listening to the stereo sounds of J, D, B. Jack David Bernstein. is back.
I've been saving it, huh?
Jack is back. Okay. Oh.
Mhm.
Okay, we were getting a lot of repeat songs because she's been a busy girl.
Mhm.
She's been doing the work. She's been doing the work.
Yeah.
But okay, Jack. Okay, I give that to you. I give that to you. Thank you, girl. Thank you. Oh. Jack has an issue with my pitches. So I really go, oh my god, Jack. Oh my god, Jack. That's amazing. See, Jack, I have a range. Ooh, oh. Adam,
Yo.
we were at provocations.
Well, we're gonna talk about my book that's
Oh
coming up.
shit! What's your book? What
We
book?
have one more book in the book club.
One more book, y'all.
One more book in the book club. My book is Priya Parker's The Art of Gathering.
Ah,
And
yes.
I love this book. This is a great book. This is a book that has tangentially nothing to do with theater, but as you're reading it, you'll absolutely understand why I love this book and why I think it is actually a theater book. And it's great. And she's all over YouTube as well. And she had a podcast for a little while, New York Times podcast during the pandemic about gathering, which was a really great podcast for everybody to listen to talk about like when we were all shut in, what that meant, what gathering meant to us. So yeah, that's my book. That's for the
That's
month of October.
one of your faves. That's one of
One of my
Adam's faves,
faves,
y'all.
one of my faves. But I will just do a shout out. This will be my provocation, actually. Um, is I've actually think I've if I had not already announced this book, I would use the book that I'm about to announce as
Oh,
my book because this book is right there up with it, maybe even a little bit better. This is Will Guidara's Unreasonable Hospitality.
oh,
And any fans of the television show The Bear may
mm-hmm.
recognize that book from a certain episode in season 2
Yes,
that
yes,
one
yes.
character's entire character transformation is based around. It's a fantastic book by Will Guidara, who was the general manager of 11 Madison Park, it was the greatest restaurant in the world, 3 Michelin stars, phenomenal restaurant, and
very expensive.
very expensive. And how he it wasn't just the food, it was actually the unreasonable hospitality of the experience in the dining room.
I enjoyed it, but I wasn't like blown away by the hospitality. I did like that free bottle of booze they give us at the end.
Yes, they mention that where that came from. So the book is all about the stories of how everything came about, why they do those certain things. So yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that everybody's going to get like their mind blown about it, but the reason that the entire restaurant is the way that it is or was is the hospitality was a part of it, not just the food. So great book. So check it out. Unreasonable Hospitality is really good read, really, especially those of you who like The Bear. Season 2.
I love The Bear.
Season 2 was really, really kind of based
Jamie
off
Lee
of
Curtis, y'all. Jamie Lee Curtis. That's all I have to say.
God, yeah. Yeah. So yeah, Unreasonable Hospitality by Will Guidara. And then our next book will be Priya Parker's The Art of Gathering for the month of October.
Well, my provocation is that I'm going to be doing satsang with actors live on YouTube with the Theater of Others. And I give you the invitation to join me in satsang. That's my provocation.
There you go.
So, Adam Marple,
Mm-hmm.
how will we know that these lovely listeners have done what we've asked them to do?
Well, I guess you'll see them on YouTube.
You know I will. Oh,
But they can also go to speakpipe.com/theater of others. Again, speakpipe.com/theater of others. Theater of others, all one word. Theater with an R-E. Leave a 90-second voicemail on there. We'll play it on air. We'll answer your questions. We also have podcast@theaterofothers.com. You can send an email there. We are on Instagram,
We're on the gram,
Facebook,
y'all.
and our website, all places you can leave information or questions or provocations back to us. Yep.
Yeah, honey.
But the only way that they're going to know about all these things we've got coming up, these things we're announcing daily on the podcast or on the website or whatever, is if they do what, Budi?
They need to subscribe.
Mm-hmm.
We come to your inbox week. How you gonna know when we come to your inbox if you don't subscribe?
That's true.
And it's easy. You just click that button that said subscribe.
That's right.
Now, if you really like us, you can do what my Uber driver does and give us 5 stars. 5 stars, you give me 5 stars, I give you 5 stars. 5 star, 5 star, 5 star. So win some game win. You see what I did there, Adam?
Messed up the word again, yes?
What? What word? What word?
Doesn't matter.
What word?
It doesn't even
Our listeners want to know what word.
Why? Why would they want to know the word? You don't want to know what the word is.
I do know the word. It's a win some game.
Nope. That is not the word.
What is it then?
Non-zero sum game.
Now, tell me how that makes sense. Win some game makes a lot more sense. Y'all need to write in and say which one makes more sense. Win some game, or what's yours, Adam?
Doesn't matter.
Y'all heard it. Rewind it. Push that 15-second rewind. You heard it. Anyway, if you love us more than 5 stars and you want to leave us a comment, you can leave a comment and say, I wish I could give them 6 stars. And that goes into the algorithms. The algorithms and the rhythms of the algorithms. And it goes, and then we are moving up in the world. We are moving past the top 5% podcasts of the world and going to the number 1%. That's right. Number 1%.
Number 1%.
And you know what happens if we get number 1%?
Oprah.
We get Oprah. And we get Beyonce the Virgo.
Yep.
And who else do we get at him? Who else we get?
Michelle Obama.
Okay. Oh, I mean, so who does not want to see Michelle Obama?
That's right. This is a promise to you, our dear listener. This is a promise to you. We will get Oprah if we go past top 5%.
Well, if we go 1%,
we will 1%. Get you. We will bring you Oprah.
We will bring you Oprah.
We will bring you Beyonce.
We will bring you Beyonce the Virgo.
We will bring you Michelle Obama.
And we'll bring you Michelle Obama.
That's a promise.
That's a promise.
You can
but we gotta
take that to the bank.
But we got money?
No. We need them to take it to the bank.
Oh, and by the way, our producer will be so happy to get us those guests.
Yeah. I'm sure.
He'll be emailing Michelle Obama as soon as we have our first 1%.
You hear that, Jack? Michelle.obama@gmail.com. Go ahead and start writing that email out right now.
ChatGPT. He'll be fine.
Yeah.
Oh, Adam, you're in my house.
I know, we're right here.
He's in the house. Adam is in the house.
I'm in the house.
I love you so much.
I love you too.
And for the rest of y'all, we'll be back next week. Bye.
Thanks for joining us this week on the Theater Brothers podcast. Make sure to visit our website, theaterbrothers.org, where you can subscribe to the show in iTunes, Stitcher, or via RSS, so you'll never miss a show. While you're at it, if you found value in this show, we'd appreciate a rating on iTunes. Or if you'd simply tell a friend about the show, that would help us out too. A special thank you to Purple Planet for the music you've heard. The Theater Brothers creates a shared community of artists and audiences for the purposes of exploring the most profound issues of our lives and times. We believe the play watches the audience. The audience is necessary, and they are witness to what happens. And you get to be witness to us making that happen. The purpose of this podcast is to open up our process and let you in. We're peeling back the curtain, so to speak, and encouraging you to follow along, to ponder, prod, and question, to join us and criticize us if need be. Being a witness is no passive task and requires much from you. Are you up for the journey? Be sure to tune in next week for our next journey.